in the San Bernardino shooting in a church that was celebrating a Christmas party. Where you going?
I'm gonna move over here and get my pretty face on the TV.
Oh, okay.
Somebody has to be on.
We not on. I'm not on it, but it's okay. I'm gonna start being on, and I saw it. You showed me a.
Oh yeah.
You showed
Very
me a
handsome.
TV show the other day that I was doing.
It was 35 years ago, but it was.
No, it wasn't
Oh, it wasn't that
35
far.
yet. No, it was about 34, 32.
Oh. Okay.
No. No.
Well, anyways, back to the story. It's.
We got to be careful who we let in. You know, it's like, in a little bit, it's going to be a story on the Las Vegas Tribune.com where some Cuban people are in Costa Rica trying to go to Nicaragua, and they try to make their way to United States, but those Cuban people are showing in the picture with a tattoo of Fidel Castro's face and a Che Guevara face. What do you think they coming to do over here but to instigate and to make the rest of the Cuban people that live here give them a bad name and give them a bad reputation? And it's I don't think, beside the fact that they can be dangerous to the community, I don't think the United States government should allow those Cubans to come to the United States. They should stay where they are, or they can go back to the little Fidel Castro regime and stay there. That's all I can tell.
Under the current unemployment situation, a bad economy and this and that, why don't we just seal the borders and not let anybody in for
That's all.
go on a holiday where we freeze the border for a year or something? You know, we'll look at it in 12 months from now, see what it looks like. You know, I know we're a country that was founded on immigration and this and that. That's fine. That was 200-something years ago. You know, things change.
Yeah, they do change, and they're not changing for the best.
No.
They're changing for the worse, and we need to make sure that we, the ones that live here now, are safe and protected. That's very, very simple. You know, I think it is very important. And the president was speaking today, or I don't know what, if it was yesterday, but I saw him today. And he's not too much of encouraging. He don't give too much encouragement, you know. He kind of said, well, you know, it happened already. Let's keep going.
Oh, yeah, but he wants to take away the guns right away.
Yeah, well,
There's
that's
no reason for that.
that
right
is
off
the
bat.
idea.
That's his
That is the
agenda.
idea. That
Yeah,
is what
sure.
he's trying to do.
He doesn't
He's-
even, doesn't even call up any of the victims, or doesn't make any statements, or, just all about guns. All about guns.
So I have no idea what his plans are, and I tell you the truth, I don't know if I wanted to know what his plans are. 14 people were killed, 17 are harmed. I think I don't care what you call them. To me, that's terrorist. Local
When you have
terrorists.
14 people dead and 17 hurt, you think that's not terrorism?
Right.
Like, I mean, and he
No.
had 12 pipe bombs.
Yeah,
And
and
that's not
another one that you
terrorism?
can control from far away. You know,
No, doesn't sound like, I think he was
it's
just
calling. I will
somebody
call.
insulted him at that Christmas party is what it was. He got insulted and went home to all his pipe bombs that he just happened to have, I guess.
Yeah,
He
it
was getting
happened
them
to be
packaged
there,
up for
right?
Christmas,
It
yeah.
It
He
happened
was going
to
to give
be
him his
there.
gifts,
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. Last night I'm watching the supposedly conservative channels, and they're all very skeptical, very reluctant to say Muslims, or very
yeah,
tepid,
like that
very...
woman that saw the suspicious and she was not ready to call anybody because she don't
Right.
want to be considered a,
Right.
a racist profile.
Right.
I'd rather have race profile than 14 people dead.
Absolutely.
If somebody think I look suspicious, they should call the police and let the police check me out. That would be the best way.
Well-
If I wanted to think that they did it because I'm Cuban, so be it. I don't have any problem with that. It's like I go to the courthouse every day. I keep saying this and this and this and every day is the same thing. I go to the courthouse and I used to go and I don't have to go through the scanner because everybody knew me. Somehow, somewhere, maybe somebody complained and I was not going through the scanner. Now I gotta go through the scanner, and I'm blessed that I can go through the scanner, because if I do go through the scanner and they know me, I'm sure the people that they do not know, they're gonna go through the scanner too. So I know that while I'm there, I'm safe and I'm protected. I have no problem with that. It's like one time I was coming out of this. What is that?
It's your laptop. Woke
It
up.
is?
Yeah. Sound like one of our other hosts' show.
What, the 2 o'clock show in the
1
morning?
o'clock. The 1 o'clock show. You sound like that show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the police wanted to know what was I doing in there, and I told them I was looking for a place, and they said, "Do you mind if I look in your trunk of the car?" And I said, "No, I don't mind." I clicked the door, and I opened the door for the trunk door, opened the trunk, and the other person that was with me said, "Well, you didn't have to do that. They don't have a warning. They don't have a reason." What's the difference if I have a reason or not? If they wanted to look at my trunk and I don't have anything in there, then now that happened before 1991. After the police planted evidences in my desk, I'm more skeptical to think then I'm gotta make sure that somebody else is in there to look that they don't put anything in there. But my first reaction is, if I have nothing to hide, let it look, and I probably will tell them, do me a favor, stay behind a little bit. Let me make sure that you're not gonna plant anything. That's all. Because those police officers in the field probably are pretty honest, but when you get plain clothes and you get detectives and you get undercover and you get all those halfway criminals, then you got to be more careful how honest you want to be with the police. But so far, I guess I've been lucky. Nobody with a bad intention has been trying to make me open the trunk of the car. So, but anyway, going back to San Bernardino thing, the woman came over here, I guess, with a wedding. I don't know what a AK-1 visa is. I don't know what that means, but the guy went over there, married the woman. She come. The FBI in San Bernardino. I was watching the TV, so it's not my investigation. So I don't want anybody to say. Rolando told me this. I listened to the FBI in charge, agent in charge, and he said that she was from Pakistan, and he went to Saudi Arabia to marry her. He married her and brought her over here, and they believe, or they are under the impression, or they assumed that she was the one then it had the mentality to do some criminal activity like that, and he just followed her, you know. But it is the investigation continues, and I believe then it should be continued, you know. So, and I don't know who else is going to be running on changing the subject a little bit, even though we are 2 minutes earlier. I like to change subject at the quarter after, but I'm going to start a little bit early because I have a meeting with somebody over here just before the show. Then was thinking about running for Congress, and he came over to ask me for my opinion, even if the granny, the political granny, don't think I'm known. I don't have any knowledge of anything. I got people that come and ask me for my opinion and everything else, and I believe that a person that is going to run for Congress need to have a little more name recognition, and so I suggest that he will look for a state senate or something a little more, even assembly, you know. That would be something more opportunity, better opportunity for that person to run, because the name recognition is not that important. So, Clark, why are you so quiet today? Why are you
Well,
doing?
you've been doing all the talking, so
I know
you're on a roll, so I let you roll. I don't want to get in the way of that steamroller.
Yeah, but you don't. Normally, you're not that considerate. You know.
Oh, really? Oh.
You normally interrupt me once in a while. You know, and I like to think that we need to keep moving before we get a little more deeper into the saying, how is the election going?
Well, it's. I think there's going to be a lot of things that keep on.
You talked to Donald last night?
Oh, every night, you know, he checks with me before he goes to bed. Wants to get my advice on how to handle the woman in his life, you know, because I'm an expert on that. So I tell him how to take. No, we never talk politics. That's, no. I don't care about
He's
that.
still number one in the list, right?
Yeah, he's hanging in there. It'll be interesting to see when these 0%ers start dropping out. Of course, they don't have any percentage of the polls, so you can't say their support's going to move to someone else because they don't have any support. So how do you know when, like, these Leslie Gramnesties drop out, and a couple other, Pataki, is he still in the race?
He's still in the race?
I guess, and you know, there's 3 or 4 still in the race that are tracking like on 0. So not much of that's going to move around. I don't think Ted Cruz is going anywhere. Marco Rubio is not going anywhere.
Well, Marco Rubio
I don't
is
think their
now.
money is going to run out anytime. Doesn't appear
Marco
that they're.
Marco Rubio is second now.
Where? In the national poll or?
Yeah.
National poll?
Yeah. And Donald Trump, I think he wants to take out the family of the terrorist.
Yeah, well, good. You know, a little collateral damage there never hurt.
Right.
And you're getting rid of the future terrorists, too. You know, if you kill a few babies here and there, you're just taking out the future terrorists.
Yesterday.
Because they strap bombs to their babies, so, you know, either they're going to blow them up or we'll blow them up. One way or the other, the kids are gonzo.
Yesterday he told CNN that he will kill the family of terrorists in order to win the fight against ISIS. So you can imagine that the billionaire businessman was asked by the host of Fox News, Fox and Friends, how to fight ISIS but also minimize civilian casualty when terrorists often these commercials are everywhere, man. If it's not a telemarketer, it's a commercial. They always interrupting my. Yeah, that's what he said. Let's kill the family of the terrorist. But if they're not here, how are they going to kill them? You know.
Well, you go over there on a bombing raid.
The other thing with the terrorists is you have to take out their family. When you get those terrorists, you have to take out their family.
Well, we have a real cancer in this world over there in the Mideast, and religious fanatics and this caliphate and what all that stuff is, and the Quran, and you know, I don't want to knock religion, but when you put fanatics with it, you've got a problem. Like this guy from yesterday, one of the shooters, got to go home whenever he wanted so he could go pray, you know, 5 times a day, 6 times a day. How do you hire people like that? You have to do it because they're Muslim? So they have to go home and pray 5 breaks a day? Hour break here and there? I mean, this is ridiculous. Let these people, if they want to, let them stay in their own country. Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's kind of like affirmative action in a way for religious people now. You know, you have to take care of their beliefs before you take care of the fact that you got a job to do. You need to do your job. Otherwise, you don't have a job. We have to go back to basics. We have to go back to Sense 101 and get rid of these strange people that come from another world. They come in here and they think they're going to change us around, change America to their way, and that's not the way it is. We have to take our country. We have to protect it. I think we should have a moratorium on anybody coming into this country. And I know the old liberal two-shoes, goody two-shoes aren't going to go for that, but that's what needs to be done. We need to protect ourselves. You think this is just the beginning of the iceberg here? I think there's terrorists all over this country, these cells they're called, and they're out there, and there's jillions of them, and we're just beginning to see it happening. You ever go up around Detroit in that area, go across the border, even in Canada? It's all Muslims up there. It's all Muslims. Now, I'm not saying they're all bad Muslims, but you know, you see the pictures of the people that got on the plane that day, that flew the planes into the buildings, and they all look alike up there. You can't tell the difference, so that kind of worries you. And you see, they're all up there. There's hundreds of thousands of them. It's infested with them. Like I understand over in England and so forth, aren't they overrun by these people from the Mideast? They've been going in there for years. I think their population is like 40%, I heard. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what I heard. I mean, Europe is overrun. They got 8 million or 800,000? No, they have 800,000 Syrian refugees. And about 10%, no, in Europe. And about 10%, if you do the math on the Paris incident, are, you know, they're illegal, they're terrorists. 10% of 800,000 is 80,000 terrorists living in Europe. So now Obama's rolling out the red carpet over here, with a big invitation, come on over, like the little kiddies on top of the trains that were pouring in last year, over the border, train after train, coming from someplace in Central America. Who knows where? There were probably Syrian terrorists, probably Libyan terrorists, probably Iraqi terrorists on those trains too. How would you know? There weren't any border guards stopping anybody, searching them and trying to find out who they are. You can't find out who they are anyways. It's ridiculous. We really got some non-leadership in this country right now. We need a leader. We need to get someone in charge that knows what the hell they're doing and has the proper instincts, American instincts, not Kenyan instincts.
We need somebody that can read the people's mind and do what the people want to do.
Some of the people, half of the people. 47% of the people, you don't want to do what they want to do. You got to be careful of that 47%.
Well, that 47%, maybe 20% of that, it is a follower. They follow because that's what they tell them what to do. But if you tell them something different, there will be some people are leaders and some people are followers. And that's the problem. Some people are not able to see the clear picture, and you have to give them a pair of glasses so they can see the picture clearly. Simple as that. Oh.
Well, I don't know. When your mind's been brainwashed, how long does it take you to recover from something like that?
Most of those people that have been brainwashed is because they either get a check or they get some kind of benefit.
Santa Claus comes every month.
Yeah. Right. But if you give them another check from somewhere else, they
So you have to buy them?
If you have
spoiled,
to, why not?
Yeah.
The only thing you got to do is be careful, because the same way you buy them, somebody else can buy them.
Yeah.
So you got to keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
That's all.
I think that we proved something back in the, I guess it was the 90s, with Bill Clinton when he was kicking and screaming to sign that welfare reform deal that the Republican-held Congress and Senate wanted to pass through, where it kicked all these people off the welfare rolls after a certain amount of time on the dole. And then the people that were on the take found out, geez, I can get a job. I can do this on my own. This isn't that bad. And then Obama gets elected and cancels the whole deal out, puts all the people back on welfare again. We were making a headway there. We were getting people trained that it's better to take care of yourself. And now we've taken a step backwards. Elections have consequences, and if we can't see that after 8 years of this guy, boy, oh boy, this country's gonzo.
And we don't know for sure if it's the end.
Well, it's sure not going the right direction. We can tell that. You don't need to be a genius to see we're going towards a big cliff.
Yeah, I believe that I'm very skeptical about this guy. Very skeptical.
Well, we need.
The only thing that keep me going is because I believe in the American people, and I got the feeling that the American people may not allow a dictatorship. That's the only thing. Then.
Well, I've heard saying the other day that the only way you have left to believe in the American dream is to be asleep. You're dreaming if you think that the American dream is alive. It's been hijacked from us.
Yeah.
The lawyers have hijacked it from the legal process. All the courts and everything now want to just pay the lawyers. They don't care about justice. That's out the window. So we've lost that. So really we don't have any law in this country. And now you got these terrorists with a red carpet coming in here. They're going to take over. They get to get a job and take 5 hours a day off so they can go pray and this and that. And you got to handle them with kid gloves not to offend them. Screw them. Who the hell are these people?
So you mean if a Muslim get a job in a hotel or in a restaurant, they have to give time to 5 times?
Apparently. That's what I hear.
No, it cannot be. I don't think the hotels,
Sure.
for what I know about hotels, I think they,
Well, they have, the government will pass all these regulations and so forth to further divide the country. That's what they want, is division. They don't want a one country. This country was founded for the people, one nation, remember? Well, they know you have to divide and conquer. So ever since the Constitution was founded, the part of the people here have been trying to divide and divide, because that's where they get their power from, is division. So if it doesn't make sense, an administration like Obama is going to go for it, because nothing's made sense since he's been in office. Nothing. Name one thing that he's ever done that made any sense.
you know, you're giving me the feeling that you kind of, a little bit, you don't like him too much.
Well, I don't know about like. I guess I'd use a different word, but I'd never liked him, if that's the word you want to use, from the first second I heard him. I knew he was a phony, empty suit, because he talks like that movie I saw one time called The Candidate. You know, they talk whatever the speaking points are for that day that they've been indoctrinated into saying, and that's what they talk about, you know. That guy was an empty suit from day one. He had nothing to say. Hope and change. Can anyone call in and tell us what hope and change is? What was that? You know, our number here is 702-983-0711. Let us know what that hope and change was, because I haven't seen any. I don't even know what it was. Hope and change. Now we have one candidate running that wants to make America great again. I can understand that one. Geez, that sounds pretty good to me. Can someone say what's wrong with that? Can you oppose that agenda? Huh?
Well, I tell you, at least we can.
Can the liberals argue against that? No, we don't want to. We don't want any "Make America Great Again." How do you argue against that?
At least we can be at ease, because the president is saying that his thoughts and his prayers are with the San Bernardino victims.
When was this?
I guess today somewhere, sometime. You know, and
that wasn't Josh Earnest reading a script.
He's not sure. He's not sure if it was a terrorist act.
Oh, he's still not sure?
No.
Oh, that's what
Well,
Rush
well,
Limbaugh was saying today. 14 dead, 17 hurt. No, that doesn't sound like terrorism.
You know, and I tell you, I believe that he will be better off not making a statement than a come out with a statement. I understand why. I understand why the FBI and the law enforcement agents don't want to start making statements, because it's like, this is another thing that I saw this morning in a news item. The police is taking out a car that is parked. We don't know yet why the police is taking out that car, and they showing the car and they showing the house. How in the hell do you think those people are gonna be? They're not gonna come out and get that car now, you know? I mean, why do you have to be so careless when you repeat, or when you are trying to get? I know the competition is tough. I know the competition is hard. But, you know, law enforcement should ask those reporters over there on the scene to calm down. You know, we will give you the inside story when it's needed. But right now, it's the same thing that happened, and I hate to bring this back again, because lately I've been talking about Cuba a lot. Same thing that happened in Cuba when the Bay of Pig. You know, the American media was completely telling on the air and in print that the Bay of Pig was going to be the place to where they was going to go in.
At 12:30 on Friday.
Yeah.
We're going to show up over there. Yeah.
know,
Good,
I mean,
good
let's face
program.
it.
Like Obama telling these 50 people are going over to wherever they were going, Libya or someplace, going to
Yeah.
send 50 people over. Why don't you just get them killed when they step off the plane?
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, we have to have a certain clandestine maneuvering if we're going to make it in this world, because the other countries don't play by these rules where they report everything to the news media right off the bat.
I guess I'm a terrible newsman, because I believe that some things should not be telling to the news, because they don't know how to keep their mouth shut, and that's why it hurt everybody else. If you give an inside story, and you tell them, says, please hold until we let you know. You got the story. You can prepare the story, and when they give you the okay, boom, you can put it out. But in the meantime, keep your mouth shut and let the law enforcement officers do their job. I don't understand why it has to be. And if they don't do it that way, or you're blocking the news and you're doing this. No, we're not blocking anybody. We are just trying to save more lives. We are trying to finish our investigation. That's all it is. So, well, you don't agree with me? I see you shaking your head,
No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay.
I've thought that way forever, that there's too much information being disclosed,
Yeah.
And then you get the news media speculating on why they're not disclosing information.
Right.
And you're getting all these gurus over there that don't know their ass from their elbow, making all these speculations, and all they do is muddy the waters, and nobody knows anything. So that's fine. Don't know anything. Why do we have to expose everything? Why don't we just close everything up for a while till we get everything straightened out? Just close the borders. We're going to be an isolation country for a while. What would it hurt? Take a breather.
Yeah, what is wrong with that?
So you stop all the trade. So what? We got enough food over here. We can support ourselves. We have enough energy. We have enough natural resources. We're going to be fine. Show the world we're fine. Now, if you want to come talk to us, you have something to offer us, you've made a better corn stalk, okay, come talk to us. We'll see if we can work something out and work out a trade deal. Otherwise, stay away. You got nothing to offer for us? Don't come over here with your hand out. You want a freebie?
Yeah, because that's what most of the people come here with a handout.
Like Trump says, we don't win anymore. We lose at everything we do. So let's stop doing. Let's just stop doing. And then at least we won't lose.
Why do you always have to bring Donald Trump on the...
Well, because he's right. And I'm always right. So I have a tendency to agree with people that are right.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, you have.
It's because you're right or because he's right?
We're both right.
Oh, you're both right.
Right.
But it has to be a right and a wrong. So if
No.
it's only, no?
No, there's
Everybody
plenty of
has
wrong
be
to
right?
go around. There's plenty of wrong. Thank God it's refreshing to have at least two people that are right. Of course, with you also, three people that are right. So, but there's plenty of people that are wrong. I mean, half the country's wrong, to tell you the truth. Or 47%, my famous 47% that I like to point to.
If you keep thinking about that 47%, you need to start thinking of how we are going to take the brainwash out of those people's brains.
Well, I have a plan. I have things here in my computer for
is the
solutions.
plan? What is
One
the
of them
plan?
is CS 101. We talked about that the other day. We teach it in the schools, Common Sense 101. That's the way you try to get the cobwebs out of these brains that have been indoctrinated into
But
stupid.
don't you think that the people that are easy to brainwash, they don't have common sense?
That's why we have to teach it. We have to teach them what it is. If they don't know what it is and you don't know what it is, you can't teach it. Like Obama, if he doesn't want to call Islamic terrorists what it is, you're not going to beat him.
He said he conceded that the San Bernardino shooting could be terrorist.
What?
Terrible
He didn't say
related.
that.
That's what it says here.
Oh, yeah.
It is possible. Obama concedes massacre could be terrorist related, not even a terrorist attack, terrorist related. Now, I hear, I don't know how true or how I interpret it, because, news is like the law. You can interpret it the way you want it to interpret. That's one thing good about living in a country that let you interpret the law the way you want it and the news the way you want it. They told me that she is the lady that was killed. The lady that started the shooting, she's from Pakistan, and she was living in Syria, I believe. And he went over there to marry her, and he brought her over here. He's a Muslim, and somebody said that she could be the one that instigate him, because he was an American citizen. He had a job for 5 years. He seems that he was doing good, and I'm sure his credit was good because he was able to rent that big SUV for 3 days. They probably cost $80-$90 a day.
That was rented?
Yeah, it was a rented truck, according to Fox News. I only watch Fox News now. It's your fault.
Did they have full coverage?
Yeah, they
I
did.
hope so. It's
Yeah.
full of bullet holes now, I think. Wow.
Oh, you mean the truck?
Yeah.
I'm sure they got.
Full coverage, yeah.
I thought you was talking about Fox News.
Can you imagine turning that car in? Well, I had full coverage. Oh, okay. There's no windows left in there. Oh, well.
No.
I was in a bad area the other day.
Well, they dead. They cannot take the car back.
I know, but who turns in that car? Jeez, criminy. Oh, my goodness.
I hate when somebody use my laptop, because now I got stuck with CNN, and I don't like CNN.
That's where you're getting all that stuff you were just reading, because it was all wrong. I can't imagine Obama.
I keep putting on Fox
Consenting
News,
to
and
anything.
keep going. There's a killer was in touch with terrorist suspect, officials said.
I flipped around the other day and I landed on Rachel Maddow show.
Look at this.
And a link to terrorists. Oh, wow.
That's the SUV. No windows, and
Yeah, jeez.
no windows anywhere, in the back or in the side or anywhere. Oh gosh. It's
Well, I tell you what, the police or whoever they were that showed up around over there in San Bernardino the other day got there pretty quick, I think. And boy, they were ready to go, weren't they? They had armored vehicles, and they were all dressed up with bulletproof this and bulletproof that, and it looked like the military had landed.
and it was just
Is there a base over
out
there
of
somewhere?
a spare moment they decide to do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
who can they bullshit?
Well, those Christmas parties, they can be rough,
They even did a baby shower for the woman.
Yeah.
I didn't like the gift you give me, so I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah, well, nothing to do with terrorism. Though.
No.
No, just a bad sandwich they got that day. Bad hors d'oeuvres.
They got upset because they got the sandwich didn't have ham. Only got bologna.
Oh, we shouldn't be laughing about this. Is sick.
No, it's not. But
And then you haven't watched TV for about a half an hour. You sure there's not another shooting someplace else?
yeah,
We might have to doing an hour show might be too long these days. We might have to
I
take
don't
some
know,
breaks
but
to go check
was
the
told,
news.
I was told yesterday that right after that shooting, there was another shooting in Pomona, which is 50 miles away from
Well, I haven't heard anything about
from
that.
San Bernardino, but I didn't hear anything else anymore. You know. So,
I don't know.
and they doing. And let's face it, those people, they are pretty good. Those news reporters, they pretty good as smelling the news. You know.
Well, the only thing that comes up on Pomona was October 22nd.
Another shooting there.
There was a car shooting or something, I think one person.
Well, that could
It
be
was back
gun
October
related.
22nd. Yeah. Well, somebody, one of your favorite talk show hosts, said there were more killings last weekend than occurred the other day in San Bernardino, just in Chicago. And you don't ever hear anything about Chicago. Is that because that's Obama's hometown?
Yeah.
So that's a blackout? A news
Probably.
blackout on shootings?
Probably.
So the community organizing work that he did before he became a senator for that brief time, a week or two before he ran for president, what results did he accomplish in Chicago? Is that kind of like Hillary's history as being Secretary of State? What a great job she did in the Mideast, and the Russia reset button and all that seems to be working out well, doesn't it? She very successful Secretary of State. Can't imagine what kind of president she's going to be. Well, actually, I can. It won't take 2 seconds with her in the White House to have her first gate. It'll be 2 seconds gate. It'll be inaugural gate or something right off the bat, and it'll be Bill Clinton will be involved in it.
Who?
Bill Clinton will be involved in the first gate. It'll be something about underage interns in the White House coming from the island, the sex island.
She wasn't underage.
No, but that's what he's into now. The older you get, the more you like the younger ones.
Oh,
What do you
really?
What do you think they had on that sex island over there that Bill Clinton keep flying to?
Huh.
Yeah,
I
of course.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Gee. I don't know. I guess I haven't get to that age yet.
No, I guess not.
My girlfriend is 29 years old.
Well,
You know, she's old already.
yeah, she'll be. She's gonna have to change your ID. Go over there and see Jerry Brown and get yourself a new ID with a younger age on it. You know.
You know, we had to follow up with State Senator Dennis because he said he never hear illegals can vote. And
Yeah,
he
I
was going to
was
check that
surprised
out.
to hear that.
He was going to check that out. So
Yeah.
maybe we can do police. We were all told to get back into our office and stuff. And finally, we were able to lock the doors.
Well, you get these liberals in office like Jerry Brown, you don't know what you're going to get. Well, I know, but
Police locked down city while two suspects are killed in the shootout. A police officer is wounded in the shootout. 5:30 p.m. Police raid home in Redland, California. 10 p.m. Police confirmed the identity of the two shooters.
10 p.m. Eastern time or what time? Eastern
I
time?
know, it gotta be California time.
Well, people knew the identity of the shooters like 6 o'clock Eastern time.
Well,
It was 3 o'clock p.m. this time. That's when it happened, was like 1:30 or something when that shooting happened, right? Our time. Pacific time was 1 something, right?
but I guess because before we started the show, we didn't know
Right,
nothing
so it was
about
like 1:20, 1:30, somewhere around there. And then Donald Trump called me up and told me the shooter's name like 1:35. I got that phone call.
How did he got it so fast?
Oh, he's on top of things. He's
Yeah.
informed, yeah. He's got his people out there
But
all
he's
over
not
the
as
place.
informed as the president is.
Oh, more so.
No?
Well, the president, people don't tell him things because if it has anything to do with what's right, he doesn't want to hear it.
Oh.
So he only listens to half the story
I
anyway.
see. Yeah.
So there's people around him only tell him what's wrong.
I can understand that.
Right.
And who knows? Maybe. No, I better don't. I better don't say it.
Oh, what's the latest on Harry Reid? You didn't bring any of that up today. You were
Because
you were sniffing about
I haven't been able to find.
some $1 billion scandal, something or other.
I haven't been able to find.
Maybe that's the Reid information coming in now.
Yeah.
Is Harry calling you? Bringing you up to date on what's going on there? I didn't hear anything about
Well,
that
I don't
myself.
know. It might be because it was a 202 area code.
Oh,
So that's Washington,
Reid
D.C.
scandal.
But also, a lot of telemarketers are operating from a 202 area code.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, hey, I guess he's involved in some big real estate scandal again.
Yeah.
He bought
Billions.
so-
Billions.
That's what you were saying the other day, and then I didn't hear anything back.
It was
18 million.
yesterday.
Wow. 286 billion federal transportation bill passed by Congress. Reid secured 300 million in earmarks for projects in his home state, including 18 million to fund the construction of a bridge spanning the Colorado River. Is that a bridge to nowhere? Where does that bridge go to?
I have no idea.
Reid owned 160 acres of undeveloped land around which many new housing units were being built. Oh, the new bridge would cause the value of Reid's property to skyrocket.
Are you reading the Tribune?
Yeah, would skyrocket. Yeah, how coincidental, huh? You know, it's getting so blatant. It used to be that politicians had to snake around and use, known people to do this and that, and everything was in secret. Now it's like they don't even give a shit anymore, just out in the open. They're entitled, Well, what are us hens making trouble over? He's the fox. You can't make trouble with a fox. Coyote Springs, an hour northeast of Las Vegas, had a bunch of federal restrictions on it. 1/4 of it was off limits to developers. Wow. It was critical to the health system of the desert, the ecosystem of the desert. Does a desert have an ecosystem? What is it, sand? What's the ecosystem in a desert? Is there something we have to protect there? How long has the desert been around? Like the Sahara Desert. Do we have to protect that? Is there something over there that needs protection?
No, you don't understand.
Is there some smell?
All this turtle and all this desert is to keep people entertained and keep people out of the real news and away from the truth. That's what it is. It's not. I get emails from the county talking about the turtles and all that, all those little animals that are in the desert. And what do I need to know about that? It doesn't make any sense to me, but what can I tell you?
Well, I can tell you this. The biggest threat in this world is that 1/10 of a degree of global warming. No, it's cooling. No, what is it? Is it warming or cooling? What is it? Oh, it's climate change. That one degree of climate change. Well, is that warmer or colder? It doesn't matter. It's
It
a
doesn't
change.
matter, it's a
No,
change.
It's a change. And that's the biggest threat facing this world right now, is that climate change. So we have to fire up the jet, burn hundreds of thousands of gallons of fuel to fly over to Paris and have a meeting about how many trillions of dollars they can redistribute in the world from the wealthy, productive people to the politicians so they can take their pound of cash and then they have some left over to buy votes. That's what it's all about. That's what climate change is all about. So you people know, you're 47% out there, you can know what's, and maybe you can get some of your food stamp increase or something there that will make you feel good. Santa Claus comes every month.
Sandy Claus, yeah.
Well, over there at the Wynn that day, that night, whatever it was, with Bernie Sanders, hard-earned money. I mean, I really for what I make. Jesus, I sweat all the time. It's tough work. My goodness. Without his help.
Really?
I need the 92. Right. So I just live off.
Right.
So why grass trying to make the 92? And you have to have incentive to do something. I think Miles Standish.
Are they socialists or communists? I believe that people are using the word socialist because they don't want to be compromised by assuming that somebody else is a communist. I think they use it as a cover-up because that's the way they think about it.
Well, when the Pilgrims first came over here and they had this utopian idea that everybody was going to work together, commune style, and that everybody was going to raise the crops and everybody would have food to eat, and then they found out, well, half the people don't do anything. They just eat. They don't bother to raise the food. They just eat. So that wasn't working out too well. So then they had to deed property off, and then you till your own land, and you take care of yourself, and you don't have to share your food with anybody else. And then the next thing they found out, everybody had all this food that they didn't know what to do with, because they produced food. So then they had to sell the food, trade it to the Indians, and that created capitalism. So it started out as communism, I guess, communal. Is that where communism comes from? Good for the community and all that, communal living. Well, that's what started it. So it didn't work out for the Pilgrims. They had to change their policies right away.
Oh, that's how it was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm learning something. See, that's why it's so good. It's so good to be able to be in contact with you because you always give me the inside story, and that is important to have the inside story. But anyway, we got to the end of the show for today. Tomorrow is Friday. We might have Madame Chofani over here as every Friday, except last Friday because she was out of town celebrating Thanksgivings. Rich people can go out of town and celebrate Thanksgivings. I guess that's what it is. Look, you went to Hawaii,
Right.
You did a lot of things over the weekend. So, thank you for listening. And tomorrow